In this video, we pick up where we left off. I've already opened the player. If you're building with me, you should have your storyline file open and completed the following features: player tabs, player features, and player controls, or the features of your choice. If you haven't seen the first video in the series and want to build with me, view Customizing the Course Player Features. You'll find a link in the description below. In this video, we'll look at the menu, resources, glossary, player styles, and menus and controls. Let's continue with the menu. If you have a menu for the course, you can customize the labels and what appears on the menu here. Because we do not have any content yet, there is nothing to customize. We'll return to this later in the series. Now let's look at resources. Here you can add links to URLs and files. You can attach any type of file, but remember, the user must have the software that opens the file. It's usually best to stick with formats such as PDFs or PNGs. Let's add a document and a URL to resources. If you do not have a document or link that you want to use, I've placed sample items in the description. At the bottom, click the Add Resource icon. In the title field, enter the name you want the user to see on the resource menu. Click File. Then click Browse to select the file you're attaching. Click Open when you've located your file. Click Save. Your file is listed in the Resources panel. In similar fashion, let's add a URL. Click Add Resource and enter a title. The selection defaults to URL. Enter the link in the URL field. You can ensure the link works by clicking the Test button. Click Save. Both resources are listed on the panel. If you look at the preview, you also see how this menu appears when you click Resources. If you need to edit the resource, select it on the panel and click the Edit Resource icon. This pop-up is similar to Add Resource. Click the trash can icon to delete a resource. If you'd like to change the order in which the resources appear, select the resource and use the up and down arrows to move it. Next, let's look at the glossary. A glossary is useful if you are introducing new terminology that a user might want to reference during the course. To add your first term, click the panel. Enter the term and its definition in the appropriate fields and click Save. The term and definition appear in the panel. You also see a preview of how the glossary appears in the player. To add another term, click the Glossary Term button at the bottom. Edit the term by selecting it and clicking the edit icon. Delete a term by clicking the trash can icon. Remember, to use this feature, Glossary must be enabled on Features Player tabs. You can also import a glossary or export a glossary. Articulate Community has an excellent description of this. You'll find the link in the description. Next, you have a choice of player style. The modern style, which is the default setting, has more features. This is the classic player. There are times when the classic style is appropriate, such as when revising legacy courses. We'll use the modern player in building our demo. You'll find a link in the description for eLearning Hero's explanation on the differences. You can opt to have the menus and controls turned on or off. Turning the player off is particularly useful if you're producing a video file. We'll leave the player on. If you're following along, make sure you click OK and save your changes. In the next video, we'll continue exploring the player as we resume with color and effects. Thanks for watching.